Hey, in this video, I'm going to review Callaway. So for you golf fans out there, you'll appreciate this review. Some really fun changes to this company we want to pay attention to. So of course, we're going to do a forum analysis. We'll start with the margin of safety. That's the math part that Tykr really does for us. Then we'll talk about the meaning, moat, and management. So first off, just to spend a little bit of time on the math parts, when you log into Tykr, you can see Callaway is a 50 out of 100, which is pretty good. They also have a margin of safety of 90%. The share price is about 21 and the fair value is 106. So really nice upside potential here. Where things get a little bit more exciting is when you go down to the financials, you take a closer look at the revenue. 2020 revenues were 1.5 billion. It jumped up to 3.1 in 2021. We'll talk about how that happened in a moment. Net income also really impressive. 2020 net income was negative 126 and it went positive 321 million. Really nice jump there. EPS is very similar, really made a nice jump from negative 1.3 to positive 1.9. Where I want to spend a little more time is actually on the meaning of the business. So Callaway changed their name from Callaway to Topgolf Callaway brands. Ticker symbol changed from ELY to MODG, which pretty much means modern golf. So the big play here was actually Topgolf. In 2020, Callaway bought Topgolf, which added a significant, as you can see, amount of revenue and profits to this business. Is actually accounting for 30% of revenue, which is the largest segment. We're going to talk about that in a second. But I just want to jump over to the site here. This is the Topgolf site. It's been around since 2000. It started in Europe. And they've got about 60 locations around the world. So it doesn't seem like a lot, but they're really profitable per location. So what it is, and just kind of scrolling through the images here, and especially this image here, it's snowing. It's a Four Seasons type venue where there can be 50, 60, sometimes more bays where you can rent like an hour slot or more and bring your entire family. Golf is known to be it can have a higher barrier to entry. It is an expensive sport, but there's a big time commitment as well. Like to play 18 holes is like 4 hours. In this case, you can bring the entire family. You can chill out, enjoy yourself, have food and drink. The business is making money off the rental of the bays. It's making money off the food and drink. You can also pay for subscriptions, so you can pretty much go as much as you want. You can also pay for lessons, but they have certain games. I was looking into what kind of games you can play. Normal golf are kind of aiming at targets out into the fields, which can be like about 250 yards long. But I was looking here, you can play like Angry Birds and other fun games that probably kids would be more familiar with, but it's kind of like real life simulation. There's touch screens and a lot of cool tech. But what it's doing is, this is pretty cool, is that modern golf, Callaway's really leaning into that, is how do we make golf more approachable for everybody? And this business, Topgolf, is doing exactly that. It's really impressive business model. And now let's circle over to the various revenue streams. So golf clubs, there's a lot of companies out there that we'll talk about in a second, but golf clubs make up about 31% of revenue. Golf balls are 7%. Apparel is 15%. Gear and accessories about 10%. Other categories 2%. But Topgolf, 32%. It is the highest percentage of the revenue streams. I want to talk about Topgolf just a little bit more and we'll keep moving on. Some really interesting facts here. So Topgolf on its own was targeted to go public in 2020, but because of COVID and you're closer together, around people, essentially, the revenues went from 1 billion down to 485. So a bit of a drop, but this worked out for Callaway. They, of course, bought the company in 2020, later that year. But in 2019, over 1 billion golf balls were hit by Topgolf. Also that same year, there were more people that attended Topgolf locations than people who attended NFL football games. Really impressive. And then another point here is they've donated over 415,000 golf balls and 21,000 golf clubs to troops overseas, military. And then they actually provide scholarships to children and spouses of fallen or disabled service veterans. So really cool business model there, how they're giving back to the community, and also really profitable business, knowing that it's operating all year round and they're making money not just on renting these bays, but off the food and drink. I want to talk about what the news had to say here a little bit too. So right now, like most stocks, it's a bear market. A lot of stocks are down, but Investors Place talks about 7 stocks that could see 20% upside when the market starts to take off. One of those being Topgolf Callaway. Just to list a few of the others include Fortinet, which I hold in my portfolio. You got ConocoPhillips, Energy Transfer, Simply Goods Food Company, Live Nation, and Penn Entertainment. Kind of a wide variety there, but Topgolf Callaway is definitely in that mix. This was good to hear. So Topgolf plans to double its annual players from about 28 million to 57 million by 2025. So nice, consistent growth plan there, building these facilities. And then it also talks about, although COVID did hurt Topgolf because you're closer together, the sport itself, golf in general, has become more popular thanks to COVID because people needed to social distance, get away from others, get outside. Well, golf ended up being that perfect activity. And a lot of brands in this space, and we're going to get to that in a moment, a lot of brands did see a positive impact about more people going out to the golf course and playing. Now that momentum has continued, people are still out there in the course, and now you're seeing this momentum with Topgolf, more people going to these facilities. So with the meaning of the business, we got to give another check there. Looking really strong. Business model's great. Still makes money in all the things that Callaway has made money on in the past, but now you add Topgolf to the mix. This is what really separates them from the competition. So speaking of the competition, the big players in this space from a public standpoint are Nike and Adidas. They make apparel, different golf gear that golfers out there you're going to be familiar with, but those are the 2 big brands. There's also a lot of private companies. You have TaylorMade, Ping, Titleist, Cleveland, Cobra, and a few others. These brands they make golf clubs and golf balls and apparel and all that kind of stuff, which is competitive to Callaway. But the one thing they don't have is a Topgolf-like revenue stream in the business. So the moat in this case, there's a definitive moat with Callaway. Really impressive. That separates them from the competition. It's a good place to be. So far, we've got all 3 boxes checked: margin of safety, meaning, and moat. Let's jump down to management. This is cool. So Oliver Chip G. Brewer III has served as president and CEO since 2021. He was actually the director of Topgolf. Now, this is interesting. It wasn't a Callaway leader or executive that went through the succession plan to take over the CEO role of Topgolf Callaway. They actually moved Chip to this position as CEO from the company they bought. That doesn't always happen. That was really unique. But what this is telling us is they're really leaning into this modern golf, this new way people are getting involved with the sport. So I can see, it's at 32% of revenue today. I could see over the next few years that percentage increasing in this business model, especially as they build more locations. So I thought that was a really smart play of moving him to that role. I'm looking here. I always like to look at Glassdoor to see what the ratings are. So the Glassdoor rating is a 3.8 out of 5. It's close. We like to see a 4.0 or higher. And the CEO rating, this is good news, is 89%. So far, so good. So overall, with this business, we are checking the box with all 4 M's. Now, I have a pretty focused portfolio on tech stocks, and I plan on keeping it that way, although this is probably the top non-tech stock in my book. I really like the business model. The game of golf, seeing that popularity increase, but Topgolf, that addition, I think was a really smart play for this business. So this is definitely going on my watch list. I'm going to keep my stocks where they are at today. But for those of you who want to create a little diversification in your portfolio, maybe you're heavy in tech like me, but want to pick up another non-tech stock, this may be a stock to look into. So hopefully this video was helpful. If there's another stock you want me to review, go ahead and leave a comment below and I will take a look. We'll see you next time.